Because I got something to give you and to answer your question.
Smurf it up. A 5. You guys really went there. I love it. The 5's amazing, bro. Thank you so much.
Oh my God, I wanted to make sure we got the number 5.
This is perfect, man. I'm going to give this some love. I'm going to give it a spot.
Oh, I love you for that, Gary. Thank you.
You'll see it every time.
It's
going to stand out like crazy. You're going to be fired up. You're going to be like, yo, you see that video? That's my Smurf.
Yeah.
Hey. Thanks for being in the REC experience with your buddy Jas and your girl Laura Elto Stewart. What's going on, girl?
Hey, how's it going?
Happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day, post-Canada Day.
To all the viewers and the listeners, hopefully you had a fantastic Canada Day weekend. I know I got to spend some time with my family. Yourself, what were you up to?
I was up in cottage country.
I figured that's what you do every single year. You do it every single year. Do you go like single Canada? And do you guys like how far do you go with the festivities?
I can get pretty patriotic in and around Canada Day.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
This one's huge. It's the season premiere.
We've been waiting for this one, I feel, since the day we started the podcast.
Well, we sat down with the guy who inspired it, Mr. Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary Vee, as a lot of you guys would know in the podcast world. Obviously, if you haven't heard of him, I really think you're under a rock. Like if you're in the social world, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all that kind of stuff.
Because he hangs out everywhere.
Yeah, he hangs out everywhere because it's really cool, right? He's essentially documenting his ups and downs in entrepreneurial land. Runs a 1,000-person company, VaynerX.
In 3 countries.
In 3 countries, almost 4 now.
Yeah, soon to be 4, I think.
Soon to be 4. We flew down to New York. That's the episode that you guys are going to be watching.
We flew down to New York.
And
we didn't have to take the bus.
Because of
this time.
Mr. Ryan Serhan's episode in season 2.
Season 2, yeah.
We got on the plane, all of us, myself, you, Simeon,
our boy
Clem, and it was amazing to see his operation. I got to see I've been watching and following him for a long time, Laura. I know you have as well, but I don't think you've really seen or heard any of the content in his office. So were you what did you think when you got to see the whole operation?
It gave me chills a little bit just to be in the place.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course to walk down the hall and actually see his office, which looks kind of similar to ours, or ours looks kind of similar to his.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there doing his job, and then he's squeezed us in and to do a quick 30-minute podcast with him. And what a nice guy, like a gentleman, really. As soon as the podcast was done, I think the biggest thing that stood out to me was it was interesting to see that although you were the person asking him questions, he wasn't speaking to you the whole time. He was looking at everybody else in the room and speaking to them directly. So that was pretty cool.
Well, we'll see how good our media squad is, aka Clem and Steven.
Yeah, we're putting
and
our
Keegan.
media squad up against his now.
I say that because we'll see if they notice that, because I totally noticed it. If I'm talking to you now, and you're looking at me, I know when you're talking behind me, and so I noticed it the whole time, and it was really cool to see because it brought yourself and Simeon into, Clem was doing his thing behind the camera, but yourself and Simeon into the conversation. He actually probably spoke to you guys more than he actually did directly to me.
And it was funny because it really brings you into what he's saying, and it goes to show how much he does care about all the people in the room, and he's really trying to get his message across to everybody and not just one person. So it was a great time.
We have a crazy lineup of guests
already
in this season.
We're ahead of the curve.
Yeah, which has taken us a while to do because we have actual jobs. We run a company here. But to have, I think, already 5, 6
in the can,
huge podcast episodes coming your way this season. Season 4 is going to be very interesting from a feedback perspective because we have some really big names, and then we have some guests that are just starting out. And I'm excited. I'm actually more excited about those guests because they're just starting their journeys. And
that's what I love about it so much, because they're already get the importance of documenting right from the start. Versus someone, say, who's made it, now they're trying to go back and fill in the gaps in terms of a social media and documenting it perspective.
So, guys, give us the feedback on this episode. Again, it's with the CEO of VaynerX, but his side hustle is just as big as his company, all the stuff like we mentioned that he's doing, and really educating entrepreneurs and just like regular people. Doesn't matter what you're looking into doing in your life. I think there's something for everyone in this episode.
Definitely.
And as always, the feedback means the world to us. Alto, thank you for everything. I'm excited for season 4. Very excited for season
Me
4.
too.
And we'll catch you guys soon. Take care.
REC Experience presents Real Estate, Entrepreneurship, Leadership with your host, Jas Takhar. The REC Experience podcast is now on air.
Hey, thanks for being in the REC Experience with your host, Jas Takhar. And today, I got a very special guest, Mr. Gary Vaynerchuk. Did I do it justice?
You did it justice.
Thank you,
Perfect.
buddy.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for having me on.
I love you.
Thank you.
For everything, not only that you've done for myself and my team, but for the positivity that you're putting out there. This is our season premiere for season 4, episode 1.
Yep.
It's going to be
How many
dubbed.
episodes have you done?
I'm at 60 episodes.
So this is 61 or 60?
61.
Okay. Spencer Long wore that number last year for the Jets. He was terrible. So we're off to a tough start.
I can hold off for you.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
The reason I make mention of the first for season 4 is because what you've been doing. It's been amazing, not only for my team to see, but really for the world to see. And so this episode is also going to be dubbed How to Make Positivity Louder. Because I know that's important to you. And I could talk for the next 30 minutes about all the little things that I've copied you on because you've allowed it. But I really want to give back. And so I can't pay you back for what you've done and the education that I've gotten from you. Because like you, I know you have a report card here somewhere. I couldn't find mine.
Yeah. Call the school. I couldn't find mine. This is a copy. Like I literally had my admins. I'm like, call my high school. Yeah. I think I have the rights to it. Yeah, I think you can get it.
Yeah.
You should do it.
I like you, I just barely finished high school. And so I can't pay you back for for all the stuff that you've done for us, Gary, but I want to pay it forward.
Love.
And so hopefully we could do it through an episode like this and in the future.
Let's do it.
So let's talk a little bit about couple of things that you've taught me. Patience.
Yes.
Okay. And then with patience, I want you to also go into that.
Which comes hard for alphas.
Okay. What do you mean?
Well, when you're hungry and ambitious and want to fuck up the world and win and dominate, patience seems foreign.
Right.
It seems anti-cultural to when people think of themselves like, I'm going to win.
Yeah.
They don't normally think I'm going to win in 80 years.
Where'd you get the patience from? So it's hard. It's like you said, it's easy. It's hard for people to alphas to get it.
I think I'm way more practical than people realize because I'm so high energy and sometimes that seems less practical.
Yeah.
I also think it's based on my ambition. My ambition is not to own a Lamborghini. My ambition is not to own a mansion. My ambition is to try to buy the New York Jets. And I think in that, and more importantly, that's my kind of selfish, kind of fun, immigrant to rags to riches thing. My ambition is to leave a legacy, and that's forever. I may say the most profound thing that ever comes out of my mouth might come out of my mouth when I'm 84 years old on a virtual reality show on Mars. It might.
Take it back for a second, because there's going to be, your lucky number's 5, my lucky number's 13. So there's probably 13 people that don't know about you yet, even though you're all over the place.
13 million, 130 million. And that's the fun of it. 1.3 billion don't know who I am.
Who are you and what do you do?
I'm an entrepreneur, immigrant from the former Soviet Union. I grew up a hustler kid in Jersey in the 80s and 90s. I'm all those cliche things. Immigrant, cursing, Jersey, competitive, feisty, hungry, ambitious. But I'm also Tamara Vaynerchuk's son, and that my mom is an emotional, intelligent juggernaut. She's quiet. She's a mother of 3. She, is not super social. She's definitely not out there, but she has talents with empathy and gratitude and kindness that I completely absorbed DNA-wise and then was parented by. And so I think I'm an unusual alpha business winner in that I'm building businesses. I invested in a lot of big fancy companies. I've got all my Tumblr and Facebook and Twitter and Uber stuff around here. I've built a huge company. I've built multiple huge companies. I'm a successful, wildly followed on social entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But I think I'm coming at it in such a different way than the other people that entrepreneurs look up to. And I think it's the thing I'm most proud of, which is I think I'm putting words in, especially alpha males, but alpha females too. I'm putting words in the vernacular that had just not been part of the winning business culture. The words empathy and gratitude and kindness and patience were not the words coming out of 26-year-old entrepreneurs saying that they're going to kill it or crush it.
Well, a lot of people want to tear down buildings, not help others try to either build up theirs or just build bigger buildings like you say.
Yeah, I mean, what you're referring to, and I appreciate you calling that out, it's one of my favorite things. Like, I think if you're great, you don't spend time tearing other people's buildings down. I want before we went on camera, the reason I give away all my best advice is because if somebody's a better executor than me, it's going to happen anyway.
Right.
It's going to happen anyway. So I think the world has abundance. Like, my success is not at the expense of anybody else's, nor is it the other way around.
How'd you get so fucking quiet? Like, how'd you get so quiet in your head? Because I'm getting there, and I'm not just saying
practice. That. See? You just said something very important, and you'll understand this better than people listening for the first time.
Okay.
You said something powerful. I'm getting there. Why? Because you listened to me. And it became something you started believing in. And once you started tasting it, you can't untaste it.
You can't.
It's very unnatural to think giving more than taking leads to more for you, but it's the truth. And so, especially if you're talented. And so people think they're giving.
I think it's egotistical because you said that and I was about, really? Like in my head, I was about to say, I know I have a certain talent.
I don't.
It's this.
I think it's self-awareness.
Got it.
I think that, look, I'm incredibly confident. And I think ego is insecurity. So I think it's confidence speaking. And then I think confidence is more palpable when it comes with humility. Listen, there's a lot of people who see one Instagram video of me for 1 minute and not like me.
Right.
Because I'll be hot and excited and person. I'll be like, fuck this guy. But anybody who's actually spent any time digging, the reason I think most people end up liking me if they really go down the rabbit hole is there'll be something that I'll do that will make them realize in all the bravado and all the East Coast, there's an equal amount of humility, patience, kindness, and it'll be that light. It'll be like, whoa, I didn't expect that from him.
Yeah.
And I think that that's important. I think, that just comes with a mixture of DNA and experience. But for me, I got quiet. And what you're referring to, if people don't follow me, is I talk a lot about being quiet, which means, look, if you go to my latest post on Instagram, there'll be 800 people that are saying, there's people that say outlandish things like, you're Jesus. And I'm like, all right, let's calm it down. But like, people really get fired up about me. Sure. And then there'll be 8 people that are like, you're a snake oil salesman. You're full of shit.
Yeah.
You don't, what the fuck? This guy's getting rich over talking about common sense.
Look, there's people that knew that I'm going to come see you and they were thinking you're a snake oil salesman. For me, it's easy, like one ear out the other when they talk, like when they say that, because they haven't dug deep enough.
Yeah.
It's not, there's no depth in that.
And the reason I don't get upset when people kind of take a hot take at me is I don't have the audacity to think somebody should spend an hour digging into me. People are busy. What the fuck are they supposed to spend an hour consuming all my content to get a good read on me? I think that's audacious. I think that's insecurity. So when people have I get it. I know how excited I can get. I know that in a 30-second video, I can come across, because I get when the lights go on, I feel like I'm an athlete.
Right.
When the lights are on, I'm in.
That's me Sunday nights, buddy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. It's me Sunday nights. Like I can't wait to get to out of the locker room into the fucking game on Monday morning.
And for me, when the lights are on, a piece of content,
yeah,
that's me actually wearing my uniform and performing. And like in real life, though I don't have athletic ability, but when I try to scrap it up with friends, like I'm dirty. Like I want to win at all costs, whatever it takes.
Chew their heads off.
And so, but when the game's over, it's like, I'm not happy I tripped that guy. Like it's not, I don't feel good about it. It's just, I can't help it. During that game, that's what I'm going to do.
Right.
And I think that's, if you're self-aware enough, and that's what can come across in my content.
Yep.
But the reality is the truth always speaks in the end. There's a lot of fake good guys out there.
Right.
And I like that the world's starting to expose them. I like it a lot.
And you think it's these, like the cameras and the social media, that's the shit that's going to expose it?
100%. You know how many guys are walking around scared right now?
Why?
Because they know they pinned a woman against a wall and did something inappropriate 13 years ago. I walk around light as a fucking feather. I like that. And I knew that was going to happen 20 years ago. And because doing the right thing is always the right thing, something I say a lot, I've lived that. I was parented by a tremendous mother. So I know who I am. I'm not perfect. I'm fucking got plenty of shortcomings, but I know what I've done and what I haven't done. And you live that life. And I'm also willing to deal with my circumstances when I do the wrong thing. When I make a wrong, bad business decision and the business feels the effects of that, I don't blame other people. I'm extremely accountable.
It's all your fault.
100%. And people get mad at me for that sometimes. They're like, that's not a good way to live. You get depressed. I'm like, look, optimism and confidence along with accountability is incredible. I have accountability. I also say, don't beat yourself up. I don't judge myself.
Who do you have accountability?
Real quick though.
Yeah.
I'm full, because I've never said this way. I'm fully accountable, yet I don't have the ability to judge myself when I fail.
How did that happen? Like, how did you?
I think in general, a lot of what I am is a contradiction. And so I think that's where a lot of this is happening. So I'm able to be accountable, but I don't dwell. Being accountable doesn't mean you beat yourself up. You know, I never say I suck, but I'm aware that I lost. That's different. Just because you lost doesn't mean you suck. And that's how I think about it.
It's not the final score.
I like booze in the third quarter. Like I've used this analogy lately. I like it. I actually thrive over, like if I think a lot about basketball because I'm getting really into it. The Garden's right there. The Knicks are about to have a big offseason. Please God.
KD?
You guys are,
KD? Well,
hopefully. Are you
what are you
guys,
feeling
are you
about?
a Raptors fan? You must be losing.
It's all about, we're losing our shit over there.
So,
when you come on Thursday, it's game one.
I know.
If you were fucking staying,
we were going to
get you tickets.
I know. I was going to, trust me, I was super locked in. I was going to be super proper.
Next time, tickets on us, though.
I would have been super proper. I would have been super set up, but I had to get back to New York.
I know you would have been set up. You don't need us. But
I appreciate it. But like,
Knicks.
No, but I think a lot about like me in different scenarios. Like I'm the guy that like if I'm a Knick and Toronto goes on a 13-0 run to start the third quarter and we call a timeout and the whole Garden is booing, I love it. And this is something I'm trying to figure out how to explain to people because that booing is killing everybody. And now that we have social, the booing is on the record.
Right.
People are crushed by negative feedback from their mother, from their spouse, from their boss, from the general public, from anonymous comments on social, and I feed off of it. I laugh when I see kids or people trying to hate on me, and I'm like, man, if this person knew that negative content actually is feeding me, not bringing me down, they'd be so fucking devastated.
Then stop it.
They're literally spending 20 minutes right now to try to hurt me, and they're actually feeding me to be stronger than ever. I'm like, I always look at them like, man, they must be mad. I don't even have the heart. I never reply that way. I never reply to somebody who hates on me like that comment because I think I don't even want to deploy negativity. I don't like negativity. So when somebody's shitting on me, if they actually knew the truth, which is that actually is what feeds me, not the positivity.
Right.
Actually, that's not true. Both.
Okay.
Like, this is why I think I'm scary.
Right.
I think I'm scary because I can't hear you. You say I'm the best? Cool. You say I suck? Cool. You try to hurt me by saying I suck? Cool. You try to, like when you're not penetratable by outside feedback, you're fucking dangerous.
You are. We were talking off air. You asked me how I heard about you. And it was a few years I saw a YouTube video. And I've been very blessed to kind of always know what my passion was. I'm not good at a lot of things. There's one or two things I'm good at. It's things like this and talking, meeting with people.
People skills.
Okay. You talked about Smurf It Up. To the 13 people that don't or haven't seen it yet, how did that come about?
Oh, I'm so improv.
Yeah.
I was giving a keynote.
And
like, I was trying to make a point. This was 2008.
Yeah. And that's what I really want you to go into.
It was the talk that made me crush it.
Okay.
I got off stage. It was right here at the Javits Center. So
Okay.
crazy. Actually, I never made this connection. The talk that changed my career was literally a 5-minute walk from my office right now.
That's fine.
I got offered to speak at this Web 2.0 summit in 2008 at the Javits Center. And there was two very important tech guys in the green room with me. Fred Wilson, who's an amazing all-time VC here in New York, and Jason Fried, the incredible founder of 37 Signals, wrote a book called Rework. Okay. Actually, a very different point of view of me, like work-life balance to the extreme, the other way, the balance. Yeah. I like everybody in my office. He wants people to work remote, but I respect the shit out of him. Different points of view, different things that are comfortable. Anyway, I remember, I'll never forget this. I looked at both of them and I said, I remembered the energy I felt. I go, something's about to happen. I'm like, either good or bad, but I could feel the chemicals in my body being different. And I hadn't spoken a lot at that point. This was maybe my 10th speech ever. Okay. 8th, 6th. Wow. Super early in my speaking.
You were passionate on that talk. I
remember I felt the moment.
Yes.
And the moment is what basically has happened in the world, which is, I just knew in 2008 for sure, and I knew probably in 2005, but in 2008, it was like that the world was about to change because of the internet and social media in a way that nobody was understanding, that everybody had a chance, that look, the internet doesn't care what country you're from, what your race is, gender, like it's the truth. People are shitting on it. They should be loving it. They're shitting on it because they didn't realize how fucked up we were, and we're getting exposed by the internet, by social. There is no social network. There's platforms that we feed.
All on.
Everyone's like, social media sucks. No. We suck. Yeah. Social media is the mirror. Like it's funny to me when people are like Facebook. I'm like, there is no Facebook. Facebook isn't CNN. Yeah. Like CNN, Fox. Facebook is a platform. We're Facebook. Who's Facebook? Zucks is not posting.
We feed it.
Your Facebook. Your fucking Facebook. And so we needed that. But I mean it. Like I'm every day now, like social media is ruining us. I'm like, we're ruining us. We fill the pipes. We're the water in the pipe. Our water's contaminated. We're the problem, which is amazing because now we'll eventually get there and then we'll fix it, or get better. But nonetheless, I just knew that talk was going to go. I went out there and I just shot my shot. I told everybody like, look, this is the greatest year ever. Anybody can do anything. Let's not think about trillions. Let's think about tens of thousands and be happy. It's funny when people are like, Gary, you push hustle and burnout. I'm like, what are you talking about? My signature talk talked about being happy, making $80,000 a year, talking about Smurfs. That is the polar opposite of like burn yourself out and buy a mansion. Anyway, that's my own little like current tip of everybody thinking I'm pushing hustle porn. I'm like, I get it. I like hustle. Yes, I think work ethic matters. But equally, please listen to what I've been saying for a decade. I want people to be happy. And if you're happy making $42,000 a year, working at Rogers at a 9 to 5 in Canada, fucking live your life. I'm not judging. That's basically what I was saying there, which is Smurf it up meant if you love the Smurfs more than anything else in the world, please start a Smurf podcast or video show at night. And maybe 3 years later, after doing it every night, because you will do it every night because you want to talk about Papa Smurf.
Yeah.
And Smurf Ed is cool to you. And you'll talk about it. And if you can build a little niche audience, and it's funny what happened with Smurf It Up, because at the time it wasn't in the ecosystem, but then what ended up happening was a couple of years later, it was a huge feature film about Smurfs. Smurfs kind of reboot.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
And I always think about, man, if somebody actually literally took my advice, they probably would have gotten like a $50,000 ad deal for the movie to promote on their podcast. And so, yeah, I mean, for everybody listening, what this all means is like, look, if you have a passion or an interest or a hobby, I believe your hobby can be your business if you start making content around it in podcast, video form, written form, which eventually can lead to you selling merchandise, eventually lead to you being the speaker on the subject matter, a personality, a subscription-based business, an events business, SmurfCon once a year you throw in New York and you make 100,000. And is your life better doing something you love? Maybe something as small as Smurfs can only make you 200,000 a year and you might be making 330 as a corporate lawyer. But I'm saying do that and stop buying his fancy cars and homes and jewelry so that you're happy. This has all been one game for me over the last 10 years to get to this place where I can articulate what I mean, which is like, let's get happy out here. Like we have to redefine success. Success cannot be Lamborghinis, mansions, and boats. Success has to be being happy. Because people are not happy, and happy's fun. Happy's fun.
I totally agree with you. Gary.
And that's what led to Keeping Up with the Joneses. Right. That's what's led to me going hard after mothers and fathers.
Like what's this now? Talk to me about this.
Most people are unhappy because their parents fucked them up.
Because they wanted them to be doctors, lawyers, engineers?
Yep. or because the parent is unhappy themselves, so they're deploying misery loves company. And it's okay. My big thing is like, you don't have to hate your mom. Like, I need to start adding to this.
Yes.
So like, for example, this is the first time I'm going to say this. If your mom fucked you up because she's the negative one, you don't need to hate her. You need to go up the ladder and be like, oh, fuck, your grandma fucked your mom up. So like, to me, it's like, look, if you're hearing me right now and you've been listening the last year and I'm saying like, put pressure on the person that's negative and you've come to realize it's your mom or dad, don't hate them. Actually be empathetic for them. Just don't live under that geist. Mm-hmm. That's a big one. Because what it's going to lead to, if you don't do that, if you don't forgive and understand they got fucked too, then you're going to resent, and that's going to encompass you.
And that might go down to your kids now.
My hope is the ones that are consuming me are going to be the ones that stop it.
Yeah.
But it starts with forgiving their mom because they have to realize it was their grandfather. And then they realize it was their great grandfather. And then you start realizing, oh, wait. And your mother didn't have the luxury of the internet where she could have stumbled upon somebody like me. And not that I'm fancy, I'm just saying they didn't hear other voices. We live in the generation of hearing other voices. People focus on the extreme shit that's getting banned and all that. What about the positive shit?
I know.
Do you know how much we can change people? This is why positivity needs to get louder, to put a bow on how you set this up. I'm living out. I'm not on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram trying to debate everybody like everybody else is. I'm not trying to convince anybody. Convincing doesn't work. You're not going to convince somebody that sees the world differently to see it your way. That's audacious. I'm going to live and create example and create collateral happiness and positivity. The end.
Hang on. Before you say the end, collateral happiness. And to that. Collateral happiness.
I'm just living.
Got it. And documented.
Then some dude in Toronto is like, fuck, I fuck with this.
Yes.
And then you get happy.
And I'm going to pay it forward.
And if you don't, because plenty don't, that's fine too. You're one fucking dude.
Yes.
And I'll go to Sarah and Sally. Yeah. I'm not crippled by it. And what am I doing? I'm just doing what my mom, my dad, and fucking immigration life did to me. I'm just a byproduct too.
I know you speak about your mom a lot, about her giving you this self-esteem.
Yes.
How did she? Like one or two things. Like what? Like
she overemphasized when I was being kind.
Okay.
You're a nice boy. That was so nice. Like when I was nice to like kids that were getting picked on, she made that a big deal. She also held me accountable. Report cards, punished. 0-for-4 in baseball, you suck. Not the coach, not the sun was in your eyes, not anything else, you. So like I think it was a positive reinforcement of good behavior.
Yep.
And accountability when results weren't there. I think a lot of people go over positive and it becomes delusion.
Right.
Right? Like that's why we have a soft culture.
Participation trophies.
Correct. That's why I talk about 8th place trophies.
Right.
I talk about it because I think that's a place where we're hurting kids. Like, so what? You suck at baseball. Pick
up basketball.
Or program, or sell lollipops, or be a designer, or do post-edit production. Like nobody's good at everything. LeBron sucks at science.
And he didn't give a shit that he sucked. Went all in, as you say.
And this is why athletes and actresses and singers, we put them on pedestals. Who were they as kids? They were pot committed to their talent.
Did you ever play poker?
No.
Because you use a lot of poker analogies. I play not like professional by any means.
I do use a lot of poker analogies because I feel like it connects to people. They understand when you have a lot of, you know this because you consume my content. When you have the best hand, you go all in.
Yes.
People can understand what that means. So I take it from an abstract to a direct analogy that may connect.
Your company, Vayner Media, now VaynerX.
Yes.
Which is the holding company of how many companies now?
4, 5, 6.
And how many people are
1,000.
1,000. Congratulations to that.
Thank you.
There's people who want to build bigger companies. How did you scale so fast, Gary?
By not caring about profit.
Elaborate, my man. Because in the business world, that sounds weird.
Most people don't build big businesses because they take the money off the table and buy dumb shit.
Back to the Lambos and the Ferraris.
We went from 1 to 3 to 14 to 27 to 58 to 70 to 100 million in revenue.
Okay.
Which is great, obviously.
Yes.
But I never made money.
What you were putting it right back in?
Yep. You know, a fun thing right now that's going on in my world is people are like, Gary Vee, you're full of shit. wait a minute, you're saying that you made no money in your 20s, but how the fuck did you have money to invest in Facebook and Twitter and all that shit? When you talk about that, I'm like, I saved. When I made $43,000 one year, I saved $5,000 that year.
Yeah, you actually put away money.
You know how many people make $43,000 a year and collect $8,000 in debt that year because they needed to go to Coachella and drink Blue Bottle coffee? Like seriously, we've gone away from old school shit. Like I laughed. I didn't
what my
understand.
parents taught us.
When people are like, "Come with me at this," I'm like, I saved money. I lived in an $1,100 a month apartment, and I bought nothing. I went no vacations. I bought no clothes. I didn't spend any fucking money.
I watch your content. You wear you don't buy no watches, no Gucci belts.
Shit.
Yeah,
I don't buy shit.
Trash talk. How did that come about?
You
don't need to do this.
No, I'll do it.
You don't need to.
I got
sell
so many people
sales.
that said, "Fuck you, Gary. Easy for you to say you have money." And I was like, okay, let me show them what I did when I didn't have money.
Yeah. There's a way to make money on a Saturday morning.
Yep, I might fucking sell the Smurf.
Yeah,
I told you I was going to put it on a shelf, but I'm like, you know what? Yeah. I mean, look, my knack was always. I mean, look, this sports card thing.
Yes,
I'm telling people to their face. Kawhi rookies are up 80% in the last 4 months.
The claw.
I always tell people to their face, bro. You started doing after you saw the video when? When did you first come across that video?
I'm going to say mid 2017.
Good. So we're talking 2 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Right? I've been saying it for 10 years. You just saw it 2 years ago and you just started to execute. People have been watching me for 9 years and still aren't executing. I'm giving you the fucking blueprint. It's free. There's no funnel here. There's no mastermind. There's no ebook to sell. I'm giving it to you.
For the guys who are watching and listening, the Gary Vee Content Model is
the amount of people that
paid 20 G's right now. Dude, I would have paid 20 G's all day long. I would have written
the amount of people that have reached out to me that's saying, I cannot believe you put that out for free.
It is ridiculous. When I first saw
it. It's the Bible, right?
We have 6 copies. 6 copies printed at our office because everyone has it because we dissect.
Yep.
And Gary, I've only done 15% of it. And my whole fucking business has turned around.
Brother, I want to be the greatest entrepreneur of all time. I don't know if I will be.
How do you, I've said that about you to people and they ask me a question. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, man.
No, go ahead.
When do you know that you're the greatest entrepreneur of all time?
You don't. That's the best part of it. I don't get to decide. There is no trophy. This is about intent. This is where I think people don't understand the bigger meaning of what I'm saying. When I say I want to be the greatest entrepreneur of all time, it means that I want to give to entrepreneurs at a level that nobody's ever given before. Doesn't mean at 87 or some fucking weird Academy Awards of and the greatest, that's not going to happen.
It's a process.
And the greatest entrepreneur, I don't believe that she or he is going to make the most money. Nobody gives a fuck when the person with the most money dies. People care when somebody who gave dies. When some random person that made $19 billion dies from the Forbes list, nobody gives a fuck. When Prince dies, we shut down for a day or two. Because he gave through art something that impacted you. You gave a fuck about Purple Rain. You didn't give a fuck. It's like everybody. I always tell people about entrepreneurship, it's like fantasy sports. Nobody cares about anybody else's fantasy team.
So true.
Right?
I'm a fantasy football guy. Yeah.
You don't care about it. You love your team. You're like, Ricky's going to run the best. But you don't. But even best, you just don't give a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck how much money I'm going to make. When somebody sees Warren Buffett or fucking Zucks or Bezos, that's cool. And they go, I wish I could have that much money. They're not like, yay, Bezos. Nobody gives a fuck about anybody else's money. People care about what you did for them. That's why I have a shot, because I'm going to spend the next 50 years giving to the game that gave to me.
Thank you for
You care more about me because you start the meeting, this video with, I can never pay you back. Think about what that feels like for me. That's amazing.
It's the truth.
You know how many people watching are like our minor league players and they're like, Gary Vee's an idiot. That dude would have paid $20,000. He gave it free. Fucking idiot. You're an idiot. You're playing minor leagues. I'm trying to go to the Hall of Fame.
You're trying to go to the Hall of Fame. I probably have a couple of minutes with you. I so want to respect your time. I don't want John Trout to come in and get pissed off. 2 things.
He's not tough.
Okay, just style. Shout out Charlie. Last Saturday, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning. It's starting to change Saturday mornings now for people. I hope it really, really does. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. My partner has a 6 and a 4-year-old.
Did they watch it?
I haven't yet because I needed to watch it. I was like, I know Gary's not going to throw any F-bomb, but my wife might get pissed off. You know what I mean? But let me just watch it.
Yeah.
14 minutes and 30 seconds or something like that. Just so you know, I did actually watch it in the 12th minute or so. Amazing, amazing messages. What can my kids expect to get out of this, man? Little V.
Little V is like a project I'm very passionate about. I started a Saturday morning cartoon. I wanted to make a cartoon that I would have watched at 7. It's not super complicated. I always say, like, scratch your own itch. I know 7-year-old Gary, and as much as he loved Scooby-Doo, and as much as he loved G.I. Joe and Transformers, and as much as he loved Tom and Jerry, and I loved Tom and Jerry when I was 5, there would have been no better show for me than Lil V. And I've started this show. And what's real, I mean, this is super selfish. It's so fun. These are mixes of like actual shit that happened to me.
Yeah.
And then just making it contemporary.
Right.
Right? Like the first episode is about selling slime at school.
Yeah.
You know, for me, that was like G.I. Joe figures or, you know, Star Wars figures or things of nature. Slime being cool in culture right now. Plus, you know, I make my sister a very big part of the...
She was huge in that.
Huge. And I want to make sure girls and boys watching it get fired up and like... You know, so I'm excited about it. I'm super excited about it.
You actually gave the Gary Vee Content Model within the episode. There's a part of it. I was like, wow, brilliant.
Oh, the amount, like, there's definitely a South Park Simpsons part of it too.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm really going to educate mothers and fathers. Like, they're going to watch it too.
I enjoyed it.
I'm sure you did.
I did enjoy it.
I enjoyed it too. I watch that shit now too.
Lil V every Saturdays.
Not yet. It took a long time to build this episode. We didn't really know how long animation was going to take.
Yeah.
We're now a bunch of big, like, I knew what was going to happen. The reason I decided to do it this way, which is not have a bunch in the can, is I wanted to put it out, establish the IP, and now the question becomes, does it actually show up all over the world on Saturday mornings, not on YouTube? So we'll see if we continue the production or do I actually distribute this somewhere else.
Look, man, I'm going to push it to my cousins' kids and all that kind of stuff as much as I can. One other thing quickly, Empathy Wines. How did this come about? Obviously,
Scratching Itch. John and Nate were with me for 10 years, started as interns in the wine business, executives here at Vayner. I didn't need them day to day anymore, so I saw that as an offense, not a defense. And we started direct-to-consumer wine brand, like making the best $20 wine in the world. Simple as that.
And why'd you call it Empathy Wines?
It's the single word that I most resonate with. I think being an empath has changed the course of my life. It is, if I lost empathy out of my body, if that trait didn't come to me through the DNA strands that my mom and dad gave me, I would be a very different man.
Thank you for you. Thank you for being you. Thank you to your parents for instilling a lot of self-esteem in you. And thank you so much for doing this with us.
You got it, brother.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You got it.
This has been the REC Experience Podcast with Jas Takhar, an REC Canada production.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching the REC Experience. Please make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Click here to watch and experience more videos from REC.